Welcome to Poscale Media Group. I'm Braxton Totten. This is Mallory Stevens. Today we're here with Chief Reid. He's the current Chief of Police of Marshall County School District. We're glad to have you with us today.
Thank you.
Today we're going to ask you some questions about your life and career.
Have you always wanted to be a chief of police of Marshall County School District?
Good question, and the answer is no. Let me explain that a little bit. I actually started out as a teacher 32 years ago and worked through things such as being a coach, athletic director, teacher, principal, assistant superintendent, some of those things within the school district. And I basically got burnt out of working with kids in schools, and I went into law enforcement. I spent 15 years in law enforcement, well, including the years that I've got now. Spent several years in law enforcement, and then this job became available. When it first became available, I didn't have any interest. Individuals asked me if I wanted to do this job, and I told them that I didn't. I was fine where I was. And the day before the deadline to fill in or turn in an application, I turned in an application and went to the interview. And after the interview, I wanted the job. So fortunately, I got the job, and I've been here now for 4 years.
So do you have anyone specific that inspired you or led you to the job?
Again, one of those stories, the way that I got into law enforcement was a friend of mine that was actually working as a part-time officer while I was a school principal. And he just walked up to me one day and said, I think you would make a good police officer. And I'd never thought about being a police officer prior to that. I was probably 35, 36 years old when he said that. And I guess he put that bug in my ear, because after he said that, I began to wonder why he was saying that. And I asked him one day, why do you think I would be a good police officer? And he said, I really don't know. He said, just every time I see you, I feel like you would make a good police officer. So it turned out that he left and went to another department, and I took his part-time position at Bahia Police Department. And that's how I got started in law enforcement.
Do you have any kids?
I do. I have two.
What impact do they have on your life?
Well, as they were growing up, I feel like everything that I did was for them. Decisions that I made was hopefully that they would make the best of their life and that I could provide for that. So as they were growing up, that was everything. It was decisions of where I worked, how often I worked, the things that I did, choices that I made, centered around raising my children. They're now, one of them's getting ready to turn 30, and she lives in Alabama. And my son and his wife, he's 28 right now, and they live in Texas, getting ready to move to Kentucky. And both my children graduated from school here.
Are they interested in any law enforcement or anything like that?
Not at all.
What are some of your biggest challenges that you face in your job?
Probably has a lot to do with my own feelings about the way people perceive what we do. I give everything to this job, or at least I feel like I do, and it comes from a true concern about people. And when I see the things on TV that are said about law enforcement, or I experience from what some people say to me about law enforcement, I take that personally, because even if I haven't personally felt whatever it is that's going on, I still seem to feel it, because I know so many of us that are out there that truly do this job out of a concern to improve our communities and it feels like there's so many people that look negatively upon us, and that weighs on me.
Despite your challenges, what are some things you really love and you take pride in?
Well, I take pride in this department. That's probably my greatest accomplishment right now. Marshall County School District did not have a police department prior to 4 years ago. It was a part of the sheriff's department at that time. And the school district decided that they wanted to have more control of what took place within our schools concerning law enforcement. And so they created, through the endorsement that they have from the state, created their own police department. And it was a challenge. And the reason I take pride in that so much is because I see where it was when we started 4 years ago as to where we are today. And I feel like I can leave this department and know that it will continue on as a very positive impact on the school. And I feel like I have had a lot to do with that, to create that.
How long do you plan to work until you retire?
Well, my plan was about 19 days from now, but that changed. I will actually be stepping down at the end of this school year from being the chief of police. I will be giving that over to my assistant chief, he's now SRO at Bahia High School. Zabian Walker is his name, so y'all can interview him next year. But anyway, Officer Walker will be taking over the department as chief of police. However, I'm going to remain in the district. I'm going to start teaching a law and public safety class at the Career and Technical Education Center in Holly Springs. So, although I had the intentions of retiring because they decided to start that program, and my first love really is teaching, I decided to stay, and I'll at least stay long enough to get that program going. It's a 2-year program, so I'm going to shoot for 2 years, and then we're going to see how it goes. I may stay longer.
So why exactly did you make that decision?
You mean the retirement part?
Retirement, yes, sir.
I've been doing this for 32 years. And anybody that's done anything for 32 years will tell you that you just get to a point where it's time for something different. And I feel like I've accomplished a great deal through what I've done in education and what I've done in law enforcement. And I have other interests out there. So to be able to kind of cash in on what I've done here and move on to doing other things, I decided that it was just time. The department itself is in good shape. We've got good people. We've got good programs. We've got good things going on. So I feel like I can leave that for somebody else, and feel comfortable about that. And then, again, I mean, the decision to stay and teach the class is I've always been that kind of person. I like to start programs. I like to get them rolling, to get them, get your feet under them and establish a good foundation for somebody in the future. So as soon as I heard them talk about the law and public safety class, it's like, I think I can do that.
Are there other things that you're currently involved in right now, other than chief of police?
Yeah, I am. I'm also a deputy coroner. We have a coroner in our county, and I serve as his deputy. So I spend not a whole lot of time, but some time dealing with in those kinds of things. Y'all know what those would be. I'm also a preacher. I actually preach at one of the churches right down here, right down the road, and also one in Holly Springs. So every other Sunday, I'm at one of those. So y'all are all invited. But I do that as well. Trying to think of other things. I do other things as well. I can't think of what they are. I'll think of it in a minute.
So what would you say are some of your biggest strengths and weaknesses?
I would say a strength would definitely be trying to plan or map out solutions. I just came from a meeting actually in Holly Springs about some of the problems that we're facing in our communities today with young people, with decisions that a lot of folks are making that are just hurting their own lives. And the conversation that I had with the group there today was, we keep talking about the problems. How about we start talking about solutions? Everywhere we go, every meeting I sit in on, it's about the problem. Well, I'm a solutions kind of person, and I think that's probably my greatest strength is, yeah, I want to hear about the problem, but let's move on. And now I want to lay out a plan to solve the problem. Now, a weakness that I have, and probably is what's contributed to deciding that it's time for me to retire or getting close to retirement, is that I try to do it all myself. I've never been real good at delegating, at saying I need all of these people to do a job. I've tried to do all the jobs. And what I've learned at this point in my life is that's what creates burnout. That's what just keeps you from being able to sustain for a long period of time.
Have you ever been injured while on the job?
I have been injured several times while on the job. Nothing that I would consider significant. I've had several broken bones. My nose has been broken 5 times. I've broken my hand. I don't think I wouldn't say I've had anything. Of course, muscles, joints, that kind of stuff. If we ever get involved in any kind of, I guess some people call it a tussle, not really fights, but in some type of fight, usually you come out with some type of injury, whether it's bruises, cuts, things of that nature. But I've never had anything that I would consider significant other than broken bones.
Going back to your weaknesses, what do you do to try to better those weaknesses?
Oh, well, now one of my things that I stop myself and say, what can other people do? And I try to surround myself with people now that I am confident can do the same things that I can do. And I do more delegating now for that. I mean, I tell them, the people around me, make sure I make you do something. Don't let me do it all. I think.
So, what are some of your biggest accomplishments in life that you feel?
My children would be number one. Very proud of them. I don't know that I really think about those kind of things. I'm proud of the department that we have. Proud of the life that I've been able to lead, my family that I have, my wife, my children, hopefully one day grandchildren. Other than that, I don't really think about me a whole lot.
And what's some advice that you would give somebody that plans to take a role like yours?
I think it would be take care of yourself. I think that's probably one of the things I've lacked the most in, is taking care of me. But take care of yourself. Surround yourself by people that you trust and that you would want to do your job if they had to, and then enable them to be able to be a part of the work that you do.
Well, I think that's all we got for you today. Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank y'all.
Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe so you won't miss out on the next video.